Hi people, what's up? This is Paul once again. And this video will be about 4 important aspects you want to check for in every mix before you send it off to the client, to the mastering engineer. So first one is check for phasing issues in your mix. Second one, is your bass fighting with a kick? Third one, is your bass audible on every speaker out there? And the last one is about effects. Do they eat up too much space in your mix? So if you find these tips useful, please leave me a comment, give me a heads up guys, subscribe to this channel and go check it out. Okay, so for this purpose I've got another song by Baby Cool here from Uganda. It's called Badili Bada. And before I dive into what I would look for in every mix, before I send it off to the artist or the mastering engineer, let me play you a little bit of it. Here we go.
St. Andrew, the king, more shit. No new system, no setaido. Abajigoberera kasale kapianyo. Dijaka kubye olimo kanyo. Ategwe akazinira ko ozinenyo. Anyway, bachidandali kano kababu benga kawumpuri. Kabanukune abalina efu twanzali nepesi rantaze afia. Achikembuga ya manyensonga. Saze wozi twawule nabalala. Tatia bebe kula kufumba. Kano kapya ne kanina ya kalala. Atatusobola tivemu atalina mugongo bikolwa sibigambo kafa badiri bada atatusobola tivemu atalina mugongo bikolwa sibigambo kafa badiri bada.
And first of all, I would like to check out the drum section of this track. And there's a pretty crucial aspect you want to check out in every mix. And this is your phase right? Especially if you layer drums, like I did for this track. So here's the original kick. And the layered one. And I used Slade's trigger to layer some kick drums. 1, 2, 3. I'd like to load more kick drums in here and then decide which I want to use. And off the bottom you can see the phase button, and here you can flip the phase. So to demonstrate you what a phase issue means, I would like to switch the phase as I play it. So as you can hear, the kick drum gets thinner. So every time you layer drums, kick drums or snare drums, claps or whatever, and your drums get thinner, you might have a phasing issue. So you want to check your phase, or your drums might get very weak, and this is not what you're intended to do most of the time, right? So check your phase. Once again, and this is in context with other drum elements. See how the bass drum gets weak? So what exactly does it mean, in phase and out of phase? Let us have a closer look at the kick drum. And if you would layer this kick drum with another kick drum, and if the waveform would go up here when the other one would go down, then you would have a phase problem. So if you were to layer kick drums, you want to have a waveform that goes down here, goes up here, and not the other way around. So then you would be likely to have a phase issue. And this especially holds true when you're recording live drums or are dealing with overheads. So you want to make sure that your main drums are in phase with overheads. Otherwise, the sounds would get cancelled out and therefore they would get thinner. So the next important aspect I would look for in a mix is the bass fighting with the kick drum. So some people might say the bass or the kick, one of them has to win the fight. But I say why not have both up front living in the same space using sidechain. So here's the bass and the kick. And here's the multi-band sidechain compression. Here it is. So the bass would only get dug down when the kick is hitting. So using this method, nobody has to actually win the fight, but they can both live in the same frequency spectrum. Another important aspect is to free up some frequency space in your effects. So for example here I've got the verse lead with a hall on it.
tegwe akazinirako ozine nnyo anyway bakidandali kano kababu benga kawumpuli kabanugune abalina effo twanzaline.
But before the vocal is hitting the hall, the vocal is hitting another EQ. This right here. So I make sure that only a specific amount of frequencies is sent to the hall. So therefore the whole frequency spectrum would not get too overcrowded. So it would concentrate on the mid-range right here, dipping out some frequencies where the vocals live the most. And this is also called the Abbey Road reverb trick. So here's the vocals without the EQ. And with.
Anyway, bakidandali kano kababu benga kawumpuli kabanugune abalina effo twanzaline.
It's just a subtle difference, but there's less mud than you would have without the EQ. Okay, and we've already talked about the bass, and you have to be aware that most of your audience would listen through earbuds or phone speakers or laptop speakers. So if you have a deep sub bass, you might want to consider some saturation or distortion to make the bass audible. So here's the bass with distortion. So you might want to listen on regular speakers now. And here's without distortion. And again with. And you might be able to hear some bass even through cheap speakers. Okay guys, so if you have any questions, just let me know, leave me a comment, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.